So I'm passing around just like one sheet of paper. If you don't have a business card, I put some around. I didn't have enough staples to staple them. So life happens. So my name is Fabiola, as I introduced myself earlier. Let's see. I'm from Puerto Rico. You hear an accent. I've been in New York probably for the last. I've been in New York for the last about 10 years. And as I said, I have my own business called Authentic Narratives. You'll find it on social media. My business card is around there. And what I do, I'm a holistic health coach. I'm literally graduating this next week. Let's go. I also do art. My art is just focused on empowerment, self-love, self-connection. As Abby said, I'll be selling tomorrow in the Holiday Market in Big Skills, so you're around, stop by and say hi from 12 to 4. I know it's cold, but it's okay, it's beautiful. I've been doing art for a while, and I'm a seasonal tour guide in Costa Rica, and I'm going to host my own retreats next year. So, just do a little bit of everything, but that's just a little intro about what I do. Where my story comes from, in 2019, 2020, I was in England doing my master's degree abroad, and once the pandemic hit, right before the pandemic, I was in my lowest mental, emotional health ever. I literally remember being in the middle of this big building of my university, surrounded of people, having a panic attack. I was really struggling, and I was like, I need help. So I decided to seek help, but then the pandemic hit, and just trying to search for options, I found some personal development people that were talking about, the power of your thoughts, or all these things, and creating your own reality. And that's the moment where things started to change, and I decided to take control of my life. When I was young, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, so I was kind of a big story in my life, that narrative of I'm just an anxious person, I'm depressed, I struggle with this, I struggle with that. And at some point I was like, you know what, I'm done with that. And I also remember taking this trip to Norway, and I was in the top of this mountain hiking with 5 guys and a tour guide. I was the only girl, never done this winter hiking before, but it was amazing. And there was one of those chains, so you don't fall off the cliff, but it actually had locks of love, kind of like Paris and stuff. Yeah. And I just remember being there, and I was like, well, I'm single, I don't know any of these Jews, I don't know anybody, and I just looked out, and I was like, you know what, why do I need to love somebody else? Why don't I love myself? And I remember just promising myself that I was gonna love me. I had no clue how that looked like, but I was gonna do that. So from 2020 forward, that's just been my whole personal development, healing journey. I truly believe that it's just never over. We're always growing, as you said, we're always developing, we're always changing, we're always evolving. And I think that's the beauty of life, is becoming a better person. And I think as you keep going, you also start realizing more traumas and more things that you need to heal, or somebody else hurts you and you need to heal again. So it's always going, and it's always happening. But I think the beauty is just having that commitment to yourself and to who you are, and just standing strong and I'm just gonna keep being better, I'm just gonna keep being loving, being kind, I'm gonna keep doing it for myself, as you lady said, I love that. Because as I also said, I truly believe it starts with yourself. The way that you love you is the way that you're able to love the people around you, and you don't have that depth of love and true loving and accepting and honoring yourself for who you are, you can't fully do that for other people. So that has just been my journey. I've done tons of things, I've tried tons of entrepreneurships, and here I am finally in my own business, finally feeling like I'm fully honoring where I am and where I want to go, where I want my life to go. And it's my evolve, but right now, this is what I'm doing. I just want to say thank you, Abby, for having me. I'm so honored to be here. So I just wanted to talk super duper quick about, well, first I had a quick meditation about gratitude, but you did an amazing job, and that was amazing, and I just felt inspired. So the quick thing I wanted to add when it comes to gratitude is a muscle. Gratitude is a muscle, and the more we practice it, the better we get at it. I know I've had a lot of people, even in Thanksgiving, I would ask my family like, hey, like, what are you guys grateful for? And everybody was like, we don't want to do this, we don't want to talk about this, and I'm like, okay, let's do something. But you know, a lot of people are very close off to like gratitude and seeing the positives and like finding the sun in darkness and all these things. And I'm like, there is always something to be grateful for. And the more we do it, the easier it gets and the better it gets. And like we think about it as a muscle, right? Like the more you practice that muscle, the stronger it's gonna get. So we just gotta keep doing it. And I think it just adds to our overall health. It makes us better people. It helps us with our mental, emotional health. It helps us like being able to handle life better as like life happens. Because our perspective starts to change and we start seeing more good than bad out there. As we all know, we live in a tough world, so the better we are seeing the good that's out there, the better life gets. So that was just my little take on gratitude. And what I did wanted to focus on is on goal setting. So your papers will have a little bit of summary on what I'm gonna speak about, but I wanted just to talk about a little bit different approach to goal setting. We're always so used to setting goals in terms of what we want to do. Like, I just want to buy a house, or I want to buy a new car, or I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to travel 10 countries, or whatever the case may be, you know, big goals, small goals. We're so used to like just setting that goal. And that's what we're gonna do, and that's what we're gonna achieve. But sometimes those goals may feel like really heavy, may feel really boring. Then sometimes we achieve those goals and we don't actually end up feeling like we thought we were gonna feel. And it's gotta like on to the next goal, and on to the next goal, and on to the next goal. So this time I found this, I'm not gonna take full credit of this. I don't remember fully the name of the lady that I learned this from. But I'll have it on my iPad if anybody wants the name. But she talks about setting goals, about the way that you want to feel in life. Instead of focusing on what you want to do in life, focusing first on how do you want your life to feel like, and based on that, you're gonna take action towards those towards those feelings. So the way she talks about it is basically we create a list of our core feelings. And then every step, like every decision that you make is going to be intentional towards that feeling. So for example, if you think of like, oh, my goal is to save $10,000, or my goal is to pay off my debt, it feels heavy and it feels boring and it's like, how the heck am I going to get there and how am I going to do this, right? But if you think about it of like, I want my life to feel abundant, and now you start thinking of like, okay, what things can I do to make my life feel abundant? Oh, I can pay off all my credit card debt. Perfect. Now you're like working towards that feeling of abundance, like you're excited, and you feel like vitality. And now you're working towards just creating that. I personally love that approach. May work for everybody, may not. You know, everybody's different. That's part of like my holistic coaching. Everybody's by individual, everybody's different. So this is just an approach that has worked for me, and I wanted to share it with you in the hopes that it works. If you'd rather use the other approach, that's totally fine. So here you'll have a little bit of like a cheat sheet, how to call it, right? So the exercise is, the first step will be to, you have 5 areas of your life. The names that she calls them is wellness, relationships, stuff, money, and you. But ultimately, the goal is for you to choose whatever names you want for those. So I put some examples here. So under money, you can say career, or you can say entrepreneurship, or you can say, I don't know, debt, or whatever you want to put in there, something positive. For you can say your higher self, or like your best self, or your healed self, or whatever you want under you. The goal is to just simply define those 5 areas of your life with a name that truly resonates to you and that feels true to you. After you have those, you're going to do an uncensored feeling check. So you're going to start asking yourself, how do you want each of those 5 areas to feel? And even if the feelings that come up doesn't make sense, I want you to still write those down, because sometimes we really censor ourselves based on what we think should be, or based on what we have learned that it should be, or based on what our culture says it should be, or our parents says it should be, or what it should be because I have children and they're my responsibility. I don't have child, so I can't speak for mothers, but I do know, as I said, that when you take care of yourselves, you can take better care of other people, including your children. So sometimes we sacrifice so much for other people that we end up sacrificing us. And, you know, all I'm trying to say here is that, you know, really truly listen to what comes up there, not, you know, not filtered through the shoulds and the musts and the what is supposed to happen, but truly on who you are and what's true to you and coming from your soul. So then you make that list of, you know, whatever comes up for each of those areas of your life. That's an uncensored feeling check. And then ultimately you get to step number 3, which that's when, you know, you notice the patterns. Most likely whatever is driving one area is gonna be driving other areas. So it's gonna be very similar all around. So you're gonna notice these patterns, and then you're gonna create a list of your core feelings. You could do about 5, but if you wanna do 7, 10, 3, whatever works for you, you choose your number, whatever feels true to you, and that's gonna work out. And then you create that list of your core feelings. And then once you have those core feelings, that's when you're gonna ask yourself, how do I generate those feelings? Like, what actions can I take to generate those feelings? And it's funny, I was just talking to a friend, and I was telling her she's doing like a triathlon and all these cool things. She used to be a soccer player, I used to be a volleyball player, so I do miss that, like, working towards something. And I was telling her, I was like, next year, like, I love fitness, and like, I work out, and I know what kind of workouts I work best for me based on like where I am in my cycle, or like how my body's feeling, or just simply where my emotions are at that day. But I was like, I do want to also start working out and like towards a goal. Not so much as like I just want to lose weight or I just want to look whatever. I was like, I just want to like do these cool like different things that are not just volleyball, but that are out there. So I was telling her about like kind of like adventure racing kind of vibe. And then I did this and I was like, well, you know, I want to feel like alive. Like I want to feel like that purpose. And I was like, that's exactly like one thing that's gonna generate for me to feel alive and feel like that strength is gonna be to like work out for something like this. So that's just like a quick little example of something I was talking to my friend the other days. But yeah, so this is just a quick, you know, cheat sheet that you have of what I just spoke about. This takes time. This is not like magically you're just gonna do it and you're just gonna know your core feelings and the world is rainbows and butterflies. Like, this is just a journey, it's a process. You might do it today, get some feelings, and then you do it in a week, and then you get new things, and then, you know, you just continue to explore, continue to dig into yourself, and continue to then understand, like, what exactly, like, how do I really want my life to feel like? Maybe start working towards that. And again, this may change. Maybe you do it now, you have some feelings, maybe you do it next year, and you have a goal, and you have change, and there's something new, and that's totally okay. So I just want to, you know, leave you with these. You can take it home. You can write in the back. If you are feeling really inspired right now, you want to take some minutes to like jot down your thoughts, please do so. I know we don't have extremely too much time to like take, you know, just focus on it, but you know, you can take this home. Feel free, you know, to ask any questions that you may have. But I did want to just give you a little different perspective on goal setting because we are starting a new year. And it's funny, last year I was in not the greatest place, so I did any vision board, I did not set any goals, I didn't do anything. And life has been amazing. Funny enough, my 2023 vision board is like coming through in 2024. So it's crazy, you know, vision boards and goal setting works. But I did want to leave you with something that you can use and that you can apply as this new year comes. All of you are amazing people. I just obvious events always just like make me feel amazing because I'm like this woman, like I'm so powerful and strong. And, like the kind of people I want in my life. Yeah. So I'm just so like grateful that you guys are all here. Yeah, I think this is just something you can all use and apply in your lives. Hopefully it serves you. I just want to say thank you for your time, for listening, for being here, for being engaged. And I guess I'll just leave you with a little update. So we're having an Art of Wellness event at the end of the month in Bixfield in Abbey Studio. So you're all invited if you're around. We're just gonna be creating a piece of art on wood, all about celebrating yourselves. I'm not gonna say too much about it, but you will live with your piece of wood and a little time for self-care and thinking to yourself.
Yeah.
So I would love for you guys to be there. I'll
It's
be
a great way to, end the year and start your new year
exactly
with yourself.
Yes.
Focusing on yourself.
Yeah. And
And
celebrate.
Kaylin will.
Oh yeah, Kaylin will have a cash bar of mocktails because we're all gonna, dig into our health. But yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you.
All right, thank you guys.